Yeah, a lot of women think, like, when I say, like, I want a woman that cooks, they think I'm going to handcuff them to the stove and be like, listen, it's stroganoff or uppercuts. Like, you know?
Right, like there's a forced component to it.
Right, and it's not. Like, you know, there's a beautiful girl that was on Valuetainment Money with us yesterday, and she was conflating cooking and cleaning with slavery as a wife.
Oh,
and
she's been brainwashed.
And I was just like, baby, you are gorgeous, but you are dumb. Like, what are you talking about? Slavery? How is cooking or cleaning and taking care of the household and somebody you love slavery? I like, if anything, you could argue that the man financially providing for a woman with the threat of divorce looming over his head, where you have to pay alimony and child support for the rest of the, in some states like Florida, I think the rest of your life, if you've been married for 10 years, right, for alimony. I don't understand how you couldn't call that slavery. But if I'm like, hey, babe, can you like make a sandwich and wash the dishes? She's like, oh, I'm so oppressed. It's ridiculous.
Because women have been programmed, you know, to everything that we hear is like, oh my God, I'm not going to be a 1950s housewife. You're not going to put me backward. You're not going to take me backward. So now it's like even just taking care of a home, even just making your husband a sandwich, keeping a house clean, things that women, you know, back in the day would value and would enjoy and would appreciate about themselves. Like, hey, I want to do this. You know, this is a sign of, you know, me fulfilling my role. I want a beautiful home. I want, you know, my husband to come home and have a beautiful dinner. I want, you know, these were things that they took pride in.
Right.
They now have been taught for a very long time that those are signs of A, weakness, and B, that, you know, guys are putting you under their thumb in some way. Oppression. Slavery. That's why that word comes out. We hear that growing up as females, you know, don't be oppressed by men. Don't, you know, and it gets in your head so that you're then sitting on a panel with somebody and she's regurgitating there you go, misogyny, slavery. And if she really sat back and thought about it, it would make no sense.
Yeah, Miss Montana yesterday had the audacity to say I was mansplaining. I couldn't, like, it was like I was living the meme. I came here to America and a beautiful white chick told me I was mansplaining. I was just like, oh God, get me on a fucking plane out of here.
Yeah, well, that is it. And I always say, you know, it's interesting, I bring it back to politics sometimes, but I always say in this country, it's very hard, you know, for a man to run against a female because a lot of components come into play. Suddenly you're on the stage and you have to be super conscious that you're debating a woman and the media is going to portray it every time you raise your voice as, oh, look, he's trying to oppress her on the stage. He's trying to silence her. He's mansplaining. So I always say, are you interested, like, do you want equality or not? Because equality, if you really want it, means that you go out there and you can take the heat just like a man. Right. So that happens all the time. I love that when you're engaged in a debate with a female. As a guy, I watch it all the time, and a guy don't say, "Oh, you're mansplaining, you're misogynist." All the words come out.
It's retarded. And like, if you really look at feminism, what it is, if you ever follow the roots of like female empowerment, feminism, any of this stuff, it always goes back to votes or money. That's all it is. Because this all started with consumerism, right? If you like think about, remember when Old Spice was just like not cool? Right? Yes. And they were a dying company, right? Yeah. So what they did is they realized that the majority of people who do the shopping for men's hygiene products are women. That's right. So they switched the marketing to target women, and they made like millions and millions and millions of dollars, turned the entire franchise around, right? The old commercial to Terry Crews and whatnot. Yeah. So a lot of companies saw this and they realized like, oh, wait, we should just start targeting women, marketing towards women and making them the ones that we want to take the money from, right? But then it got to the point like marketing women, it became funny to like belittle men. And then, you know, one marketing company sees a trend work and then everybody starts seeing it, making it work. And then next thing you know, you have a whole culture with the music, the media, the video games, the social media, which is huge, all demonizing men. But if women were to stop and actually objectively look at what feminism is doing for them, it's extorting them.
Oh, yeah. They're miserable.
They're miserable.